Hey guys, welcome back to Clash with Bando. Today this will be a second part to the Emphatic Elite War fail safe, and it's going to be my number 2. So let's just have a squizzy at the bases and defences and where we went wrong, as well as obviously EE. So you can see 3 attacks on our number 5. That's our bottom town hall 10 in this war. 3 attacks and they didn't get the 3 stars. So a couple wasted attacks there. You can see 5 attacks on the number 12, 4 attacks on the number 15, and several other bases with 3 attacks. So a lot of attacks there wasted, and unfortunately Emphatic Elite lost by the 2 stars, and I think really the Town Hall 9 level, that sort of speaks for itself. Now, on above and beyond, this is the part that's important that I want to look at. We had 3 attacks on their number 1, and that was just to get the 2 stars. So there's a lot of, I guess, searching there. It can be hard to get these 2 stars on the Town Hall 11s. It's a bit of a mind game, getting it around there. Once you get the guys solid at it, PB used the Baby Dragon strategy there. Now, let's have a look. Number 5 took 3 attacks. The 3rd attack was a Town Hall 11 bully attack. So that was good to get the 3 stars there, and ultimately one of the reasons with the win. Now, you can see a couple of bases there, 3 on that base there. There was 4 attacks on that base, and that actually required a second Town Hall 10 hit down. I think the first one was failed. Now we see 5 attacks on number 17 and 18. Now, one of those required a Town Hall 10 hit down, and you can see then also the 3 hits on that one there. Now, the base I'm going to be looking at is number 17, and let's have a look at number 17 now. And this base here was ultimately finished by Town Hall 9, so it's a bit of a happy ending to it at least. And yeah, it was a well-designed base. This is what I like about this, is that it did take a good attack, a well-designed base. You see a fairly well in-depth clan castle there, so it's definitely not a simple draw. You can see from all the sides, it's not a very simple draw. An exposed queen. Now, I have seen strategies, I showed them the above and beyond guys of doing the, what was it, the lightning storm pentaloon strategy. I think that could have possibly have been usable in this army, this base, after having rewatched it. But what we'll do is we'll go through, there was 5 attacks, all by Town Hall 9s. I'm going to show them all. And then, obviously, Enigma's last attack. They're all very different. And let's go through the talk points of them. Okay, so this is the first one. And this was from Play Easy. Play Easy's gone in with, I think it was a Queen Walk Govaho. Now, I'm going to play this in 2... Actually, this is the first attack. I'll play this one in 1 speed. And then there's a couple of other attacks I'll play in 2 speed, just so the video is not too long overall. Now, Play Easy's gone in with the Queen Walk. We'll speed the start of it up. You can see he's done a little bit of herding on the side there with the minions. And that's going to be for the second part of his raid, because he obviously wants to herd where his Valks and all that are going. Now, his Queen walked over towards the enemy Queen. This is where I think this has probably gone wrong. I would have liked to have seen a Queen charge into this cell, I think, with his Queen. Because pushing his Queen around to the right, you're going to get the Town Hall, you're going to slow down on the storage, the Town Hall and all of that. Whereas pushing into the Queen's cell, you'd be getting more point defences, and then pushing in towards getting that King and that Blower and the Clan Castle, I think, which would have been a much nicer result. So you can see, hasn't gone too well. The Tesla on the bottom there, Troll Tesla, wasn't expected. That's put him off and stopped the herding. But it didn't really matter. The Queen's sort of gone, I think, the direction he's wanted. So, wall breakers there not used. I'm not sure whether he's held back from the wall breakers due to that Tesla being down the bottom. But now you can see the Golem and the Valk section started. But at the same time, he's now drawn the King and the Clan Castle and just been completely overwhelmed and unprepared for that. So, it goes in with the poison. The Baby Dragon does go off and smashes his healers. So it's pretty much all over Red Rover from that situation, because obviously the Queen's lost her healers, and that's the end of that part of the raid. So you can see now his King and Valks, they go for a bit of a walkie. He tries to reposition those with a jump, it's a good sort of on the fly moment, but unfortunately well and truly over by then. So what he's trying to do now is to show as much of the base as possible and see what we get out of it. So you can see one giant bomb comes out there. Doesn't really show whether that's going to be a possible double. It won't be a possible double if you do watch that a few times though, because it's not down into the bottom next to that building, and that's all you're really going to see out of that base now. So obviously bit of a trick base, and these are why we build these bases like this, is to be able to get that first defend and then not have too many tricks, so you can use one or two loons here and there, but to be able to show and have a second, third and fourth defend. Okay, the second attack here is Milk Tea. This is one of Albert's minor Town Hall 9s, and he's gone in with a bit of a totally different army, and that's a Golar loon by looks. What I didn't like about this straight away was the positioning of this golem. You can see this golem's going to be running for this cannon over here. We know there's a Tesla next to this elixir storage, but the Queen would sort of play a pivotal role in there. And this means this golem is going to go all the way over the side there. The Wizzies are going to have to get storages, and I just think that that's poor positioning for that golem going in, because it's not really going to do a lot. What you could have done there was just use one or two loons on that mortar. I think one loon, you see there's no real air defense coverage of that. One loon would get one drop onto that mortar and kill that. So that would then get rid of that and allow that golem to be up the top there and tank for his Queen and Wizzies. So you do see at least the enemy, Jimmy Bob get in there and get that enemy Queen down, but then the clan castle is going to overrun the Queen, and she dies. It didn't get the ability off either, leaving behind the baby dragon. He's going to go out there and wreck the loons and hounds. So you can see one heat seeker on this first air defense, and you can see then two heat seekers on this next air defense, and that's pretty much it for all of his air units. You can see a lot more of the red bombs in that, but for me, I thought, having re-watched this attack a couple of times, I didn't see why the switch to a Golar loon, especially seeing as that golem ran out over towards this mortar. I just thought that was a bit of a not so good sort of effect, and the clan castle definitely wasn't dealt with in that combo. So we see now T-Bands hit 19% 1 star. This to me, you can see the 19% and just go, something went fatally wrong. And straight away from the start, you see bang, Tesla's got the wizards. You can just see straight away, it's very hard to point out one person, but there's no planning on this attack. He hasn't watched the attacks well enough to go, holy shit, there's a Tesla there, and it's eaten my Wizzies. So straight away from the get-go, he's at a bit of a loss. He's trying to catch up. That mortar starts shooting at the wizard, and then also the wall breakers come in, and this Tesla just mops them up. So more and more wall breakers, and more wall breakers get eaten up. He doesn't even get that door open. So straight away from the beginning, it's a very big fail, and it's just one of those things where you sort of go, oh, you can see that it hasn't been planned. Enemy Queen eats up his Queen. Yeah, so straight away from there he's sort of going, what do I do? Gone in with the Govar Ho. The second part, obviously the Golem, Valks, and then Hogs for the tail. But it's just not going to get anywhere. 19%. And this is why. Now, these are the high pressure wars, and you can see that, but that's why you've got to really get in there and watch your replays straight away. Everyone watching this replay should know there's a Tesla down the bottom there, and it's going to affect the whole raid, and what do you do with it? So you can see the Valks positioned up top. They'll get that clan castle out, which was archers, goblins, and then a baby dragon. Good clan castle. I liked it. You are starting to see baby dragons melting into the clan castles. They're probably going to be more around level 3s, not maxed at the start. But this raid was pretty much over when it started. So there's not really a huge amount. A bit disappointing to see this is the third hit on this base, and that was the result we got. Okay, so our fourth hit on this base was Aragorn. He's gone in with a Govar Ho, 2-star, 85%. So he's come in really close. Now, what I liked about this was you see the Golem coming out for this Tesla. So you can see some thinking behind that. What he has missed is that Archer Tower taking out all of his wizards on the side. So what can he have done to that? You've got 2 wizards, 3, 4 wizards there, so 16 unit spaces. Could he have just used a dragon? And that would have tanked. Obviously, he probably doesn't have his baby dragons opened up. But yeah, definitely 16 unit spaces to get that one storage and other building down is probably an oversight. I do like the Valks going in here with the Clan Castle wall breakers, because you know obviously you only need 2 max wall breakers to get in there, and those wall breakers go through. Now this was a little bit where I sort of go look at the spell composition, and you can see he's got 3 heals, 1 jump, 2 earthquakes. Now we know the Clan Castle is a baby dragon, and then ground units after then. I think going in with these 2 poisons and the jump was probably where this raid has fallen down. I do think if he had have gone in with earthquakes instead of earthquaked around here between these 2 buildings, you then would have opened up all of these 3 cells, and the Valks then would have gone through and absolutely smashed it. So what that would mean is your Valks would probably need a rage or something like that, but then you would have opened that base and only had this bottom section really left to cause any main grief. So you do see this this mortar as well. The whole time was firing for a very long time, and it wasn't really dealt with. 1 loon on that mortar, 1 giant on that mortar with a wizard even, 2 loons. Anything like that would have gotten rid of that and saved a lot of damage. So you see the poisons coming out. By the time the poisons came out, they didn't really do much. They didn't hit the baby dragon, and obviously the Valks are going to kill those archers and goblins so quick that I just think that those heals weren't really needed. You see this mortar's firing at that queen, causing a bit of grief, and you can see then the Valks going through. I like the heals. The first and second heal were fairly well switched on. Now it's worth mentioning Aragorn did miss his king's ability, and he just wasted the queen's ability. Also then not really getting these hogs out early enough. So the hogs were probably a bit of a miss sight. He's just cottoned onto that just that touch too late and not protected his queen, and then he's come out, and unfortunately the hogs have hit that giant bomb. So he didn't know the giant bomb was there, but he has definitely found it. So a bit unlucky with the giant bomb there. Otherwise those hogs would have obviously kept going and doing a lot more damage. Now the problem is the raid gets in, you've got a heap of Valks that are just going to get stuck on walls and lose to attrition. They're going to take all that damage after that, and there's nothing to keep them up. His spells are all gone. He's going to run out of time, and you're going to get stuck on these walls and going through these cells. That's why I think the earthquake option would have been the better, and it would have opened up all around that clan castle and gone down the track. So definitely a good effort, 85% 2-star. Probably from the opening hit, that was definitely the next best attack versus that base. Now we look at the last attack on this base, and this was an Enigma's attack in the last couple of hours of the war, and you can see the timer there, 3 minutes 15 seconds after he started it. So this was a last second kill. You can see from the start when he drops his first units that it was 3 minutes full. Now what was interesting on this was he's gone a fairly different strategy. He's used it to his advantage and gone in there. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a flu, so you just have to bear with me. And you can see now, 1 loon dropped on that mortar. What it does, that's what should have happened to that mortar earlier in the other raid combos. 1 loon and it's only got to get that 1 drop, and then the loon dying is going to kill that mortar. I think this was a bit of a miss sight. 4 minions up the top, 2 wizards to clear those trash buildings. That's a bit of herding going well, kind of. I think 1 minion and 1 wizard would have done the same job, freeing him up another 10 unit spaces, which would be 2 hogs or units for later on down the track. So he's done well to herd like that, but I think he's probably overused his units, and that shows in why the raid's taken so long. You see that jump there as well? That's probably the next fault that we're going to look at. The queen wasn't ready to jump, and she's just totally bypassed it. It's so hard jumping a queen. I think if he had taken in a second rage instead of that jump, definitely would have been a better position later through the raid. The queen goes in for a body pull on the clan castle, doesn't get it all, but gets most of it. I do like that. And you see he's just timed his rage well with the Clan Castle poison, and then in the end the Queen gets stuck, that jump runs out. So the jump was in effect an entirely wasted spell, and that's why I think that second rage would have been better. Just rely on the rage instead of that that jump, and it gives you a little bit more room for error and needing that rage spell. Still hasn't got the rest of the Clan Castle, and that's where it comes out now. That's why he had to wait so long, because there was a baby dragon in the Clan Castle, and he knew that he couldn't get that coming out onto his Valk. So he's done well to hold the stability of this raid together with those couple of little mistakes. So you see now the Queen, she'll get pushed, but she's got just enough with her healers remaining. And now we've got a good plan for the second path of where these Valks are going. I love how he's used his hog for that wizard tower down the bottom. I love where he's positioned his Valks, and the spells have gone well. Now you see that hog didn't have enough to get it, but that other one's gone backwards. So really in the end, obviously walks away with the 3 stars on this. I love how he's gone in with the jump for the second part phase of the army and the attacks, and he's left that Queen and all of it till the end. You see Jimmy Bob, he's on full health. Enigma's Queen's also on full health, obviously with the healers and quite a few Valks and wizards left, but really pushed on time. So we'll go back and we'll have a look at that. So you see so much on the time. So for me, looking through all of these attacks and then getting towards the end of it and trying to make up this video on where we've gone wrong, I think definitely Milk Tea swapping to the Golaloon probably wasn't the best concept. Didn't really get very close through. Didn't really have enough to get into that Queen. Level 27 Queen's really hard. And it's very hard for me to say, well, this is the army you should have used. I think Aragorn's third hit on the base, and then Enigma of obviously having that... Aragorn was the fourth hit. Yeah, T-Man had the third hit. So Aragorn had the fourth hit on the base. I think he was really close. 85%. Did miss. His king missed. His queen was wasted. He did show the G-bombs. His spells probably weren't the best concepts. But obviously Enigmas came through with the 3 stars at the end. And where do we go from there? Where do we get it? I think that was brilliant with his planning to have his queen walking around this area, and then his Valks and all of that going through. What I probably think is possibly... maybe consider different styled armies. We're not seeing people use this Heave-A-Ho that I've shown in my own strategy videos. I think a Heave-A-Ho on this base probably would have absolutely nailed it. If you had have then gone, I probably wouldn't have gone with the poisons. I probably would have used possibly just the Valks and gone through and earthquaked around here. I think an earthquake opening up all of that, getting your Valks in there with the tail end hogs, yeah, definitely would have been the way to go. And maybe not Heave-A-Ho, maybe just healers with your Valks and your core pushing through, and then with your tail hogs, definitely would have got something out of it. But seeing the waste on that Tesla down the bottom there, definitely where Aragorn's hit that with his Golem was definitely a good concept to go. But, yeah, where do we go from there? I guess this is Town Hall 9 and fair play, so for me to get my chain of thoughts around this and all of that is definitely one of those things. Looking at how Enigma's taken the 2 jumps, I think that first jump was wasted and the second one was absolutely bliss. So it's really interesting to watch this, guys. Seeing the different attacks all amalgamate into one and getting that 3-star. At least it was done by a Town Hall 9. It wasn't a Town Hall 10 needing another hit down in a very close war. So 5 attacks to get this one base down. Definitely well done from Thrasher, from you, mate. I don't know whether you'll watch this video or not, but good base, great concept. I love the Clan Castle, Baby Dragon, seeing those. It's good to see both these expos on air. That means it's going to make the air attacks versus this base very weak. Whether we could have used a Dragon Holo attack, probably not, because the air defences are in good position. So, yeah, from me, from Bardo's point of view, I wasn't in the war. I didn't get to see this live, but well done, Enigma, to get that down, and great to Above and Beyond to get away with the win. So, hope...
I challenge you to a dance-off. Hands off, no trash talk, no backwalk.